Thank you so much, Amanda, for joining today, the 7Q with Albateg.
Hi, I'm Amanda Rose. I was born in Southern California, raised in the Valley and Encino area. Currently living in Pasadena, enrolled at Art Center College of Design for my undergrad. It's like a private school here in Pasadena that specializes in arts. So I major in illustration, fine art. There's a lot of like programs here revolving around like advertising, product design, transportation design. So a lot of design that I'm seeing. And I'm constantly like absorbing my environment being here in LA. It's a very fast-paced city. You know, there's a lot of like partying, diverse range of cultures. So I'm constantly trying to like apply everything into my work, going from like more pop art stuff, some like crazy, subconscious, more cubist style illustrations. And so, yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
When did you know that art was something, you wanted to pursue?
So there's a big difference between when I started like creating and when I knew I wanted to pursue art, because I didn't always want to pursue art. It was kind of just always there for me. First started creating, I was like in second grade, you know, everybody in elementary school or something. And I was like, oh, this is fun. But it wasn't until high school that I took like legit art classes. I was like, wow, okay, like I have some skill here. So on my own time, I kind of dove into that. And I was like, okay, let's keep taking these art classes. Like, why not? Let's see what develops. Let's see how your skill grows. So I was 16 when I was really like, okay, I can draw. I can really do this. But originally I wanted to become a dentist. You know, you just want consistent money. You want to be able to support yourself. And I did not know that art, like you could do that through art. For a research project, I interviewed this whole advertising firm. And this one guy who's like kind of my, like an advisor, he like totally steered me in this whole path. His name is Art, weirdly enough. He was looking at some of my like high school drawings and paintings. He's like, you have skill. Like, have you ever thought of like actually pursuing this? Like you could do illustration, like work for a firm, or you could do freelance. And I was like, no, I never thought. And he was like, check out Art Center. Because I was a senior in high school. He's like, check out Art Center. That's where I went to. And you could like really pursue this. And I was like, what? Like you can do art and make money off of it? It's like,
do you have an essential philosophy that guides you in your creative expression?
I don't have like a word for word philosophy that I follow. I have a state of mind I try and follow. I mean, it's different for every artist. Like some artists do like research before they work on this whole series. Like for me, I try and just like flow, form of meditation in a sense. Typically with my abstract notes for my illustrative work too, I like go in like very, very loose. So I typically work large scale. Well, now especially like between like a piece I'm working on right now is like 7 by 8.5 feet. And so it's a very intuitive process. I mean, of course, I'm bouncing between like what I know and that like state of mind I'm trying to tap into.
Is there any kind of artists that still inspire you?
Picasso, Pollock, Sam Francis, a lot of modernist artists, Joan Mitchell, Gerard Richter, Gunther Forg, so like more modern artists like Robert Nava. I just saw one of his shows, amazing. George Kondo, Jennifer Packer, she's a figurative artist. She has a show here at Mocha, which was pretty amazing.
What is something maybe you struggled with, Amanda, early on in your career, let's say, and how did you overcome it?
At first, I struggled a lot with just like as basic as confidence. Like a big reason I keep trying to tap into this flow state is because I would overthink and freeze, you know, and like to me, and this can sound really hard on myself, that's like very unproductive. Over time, the more I created, like the more critiques I had within the institution, the more experience I had to talk about my work and like gather my words, because I would have a very hard time like I would think quicker than I would be able to grasp on to my sentences. I was doing everything alone. You know, I didn't know if anything was good. Is what I'm making like pretty? Does it mean anything? And then I get to school and everybody's like, this doesn't mean anything. It's just like pretty work. And then I'm like, I'm never gonna make it. I've only gained more confidence through like showing my work more, talking about my work more, and creating way more. Like to spread that confidence, it's to spread that like love in yourself, because like I feel like everything could be worse in a sense. Like your work could be worse, your situation could be way worse. So just be like thankful and grateful.
What is people's first reaction when they see your art? When you kind of speak with people and stuff like this, what do they kind of comment about?
I'm very diverse with what I'm creating. You know, I'm in school, I'm trying to like figure out what I enjoy most, but everybody reacts different to everything. Like someone may like this piece more than another, and someone else will comment on this piece rather than this one. And it's like, it's different for every person, which I think is so fascinating. It shows how subjective art is. But I'll start with my most like recent works, which is like more of a cubist style. I'm very fascinated with like kind of how the universe was created, like put that story into my work, and I apply it to this like weird, crazy, like godlike masculine character. And a lot of people are like, Picasso. And I'm like, no. The subject is completely different from Picasso, but I understand that you see that. For my drawings, a lot of people comment on like the amount of detail. They're like, how long did this take you? I'm like, 30 hours. Never again. I feel like there's a direct tie with my personality to the palette I use.
Why do you think there has been a shift for a more curiosity regarding the more masculine kind of look?
Like all these movements going on, like
Right.
the Me Too, like feminine stuff made me think of like my story, you know, and things I've experienced. And I went straight to trauma. Like I went straight to trauma. I'm not gonna lie. People don't want to think about it, but
Yeah.
I feel like my trauma has shaped me into the person I am. When you're going through stuff, you don't realize how impactful those situations and those things and those people are. The figures in my work though are very very circular, which is very feminine, but I feel like visually it looks more masculine. And you may compare it to like other cubist work, like male cubist work, that's very hard edge. They don't use a lot of fluidity. Well, it's a step-by-step process, but it's not a thought out process. It's an intuitive process. And then yeah, once the painting's done, I'm like, okay, what is this telling me? What's going on here?
Is there any of your collection, new or past, that for some reason after you've done it has resonated with you so much it's like one of your favorites right now?
I got really excited because I'm about to show this piece here. It's a 7 by 8.5 foot work on unstretched linen. I mean, you probably saw it. It's my most recent post on Instagram. It was unfinished then, but I finished it now. There's like 30 different paths in this one image. Like definitely a simultaneous read, which I love and which I want to apply to most of my work, my illustrative work, because I have like my abstract work, my illustrative work, and they're kind of separate because I don't know, figuring it out. I'm really trying to like portray within the image also how crazy and fast it is in here. And so within it, it's practically just like, I believe in a higher power, like grabbing a soul down from this general being, which is the universe.
Is that a theme you're constantly thinking about, this like higher power?
Or like the almighty like creator, which I believe like isn't a person. I believe it's like the universe.
Have you ever, delved or dabbled into surrealist, the movement?
I feel like in a weird way, I tap into that.
What's another form of art that you would like to try out?
I'm really big into photography, not just normal photography. I like specifically like taking pictures of architecture. And you just like capture like a perfect tangent, certain repetitive qualities within like windows or buildings, or maybe I would like to dive into like writing too. I'm not good with words. So I think the fact that I'm not good with words makes me want to do it more. Like when I'm far along enough in my career. I want to do like really large scale sculpture because I feel like scale impacts people the most. The monumental aspect of it, like I really like want to affect masses, you know? So I feel like sculpture along with like large scale paintings would do that.
What is right now the greater goal you're working towards?
I want to like become a brand myself and turn myself into a business at some point and hopefully branch that out into other smaller creative businesses to like give back and help. Like kind of what you're doing with Albateg, you know, like maybe create platforms for artists, help other artists or just people in general. My biggest goal is to become blue chip. If you don't know what blue chip artist is, it's internationally represented by galleries. So that's like my big goal is to show internationally. I mean, besides my art, I want to like be able to support my family.
And I love that, again, you're passionate to learn. That's so important. I think that's like the perfect point. Just to keep learning, keep exploring. You know, I'm looking forward, of course, seeing your work. Of course, we'll be in contact, hopefully. This has been really nice. Hopefully, it was enjoyable from your side as well.
I had so much fun.
And I think everyone can kind of reach out through your Instagram and your website.
So my website, artbyamandarose.com. And then my Instagram is amanda.rose.art.
Well, Amanda, thank you so much. It's a pleasure.